Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Crypto has taken a hit once again. I'm going to be mainly looking at what's going on with XRP in this video. So let's go ahead and see the latest news. We're going to start off with Bitcoin's price movement. It does have an impact on the general market, so that is a very important thing to talk about. And just looking at the price, you can see it is down considerably on the day. The body of this candle right now actually looking deeper than yesterday's candle. We've dropped below $70,000, below $69,000, and it is possibly going to be working its way down to 68K. But right now, we are waiting to see if this bounce that just happened is going to continue climbing back up as people try to buy the dip. We can actually see the volume for yesterday was quite considerable. It was not as much as we had on May 14th, but it was definitely a bad red day. And this is following the fact that yesterday there was big news. As I mentioned in my previous video, just a quick little recap, MicroStrategy had actually sold a little bit of Bitcoin. It's the first time that they've done it in several years. And then also, Iran has mentioned that they wanted to stop their conversations with the United States and that they were possibly looking at even going into another blockade. This is outside of the Strait of Hormuz. So, of course, that's going to impact things like oil and also just seeing how rocky everything is right now. It's very, very turbulent. So Bitcoin itself not looking so great. It had 2 days of red candle closure. This new day formation is more than likely going to be red, but it is quite deep. And then besides the 68,000 price point, another major level to keep an eye on would be 63,000, which is a key Fibonacci zone. The Bollinger Band itself looks like it's essentially gone parallel. It hasn't really deviated itself. We're not seeing anything converging, diverging. It's all just kind of moving sideways, showing sort of a consistency and pattern here. But volume itself has really picked up the last few days, so curious to see how that continues to play out. Now moving on to additional news. RLUSD, the stablecoin with Ripple, is now live in Turkey through new partnerships with Bilira, Bitexen, and Bitlo. Access to a $1.3 trillion economy, nearly $200 billion in annual crypto volume. RLUSD market cap reaches $1.7 billion. More global liquidity and institutional adoption. Ripple also expands XRPL education and research in Turkey through Istanbul Technical University. Ripple continues expanding RLUSD's global footprint. And just to elaborate on this a little bit more, we actually have Ripple with their official post. RLUSD is now available in Turkey through 3 new partners. As I mentioned, this is the latest step in a global expansion that has taken RLUSD from launch to a $1.7 billion plus market cap in under a year. The demand for regulated enterprise-grade stablecoins is global. RLUSD is meeting it. And from CoinMarketCap, Kalashi has applied with the CFTC to self-certify perpetual futures on XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, and 9 other altcoins following the CFTC's Bitcoin perps approval on Friday. Ripple Prime becomes day one clearing partner for CME Group's new 24/7 crypto futures and options markets. And there's a crypto exchange, if you guys have not heard of this, called BTCC. And get this, they have been around for about 13 years. You get access to over 300 crypto futures, up to 250x leverage. There's no VPN or KYC required to get started. And in addition to that, they have bonuses. There's a 10% deposit bonus when you deposit over $500, and bonuses can go all the way up to $10,055. So if you want to research it more or if you want to get started, you can find my referral link down in the description below. Now continuing on, 25 major banks to launch Swift's faster cross-border payments by the end of June, with many already connected to Ripple infrastructure. Banks in the framework with confirmed Ripple connections. You've got Santander, powers OnePay FX international transfers through RippleNet. You have HSBC, which uses Ripple's Medico custody infrastructure, also in DTCC tokenization group with Ripple Prime. You have Deutsche Bank, combined Ripple blockchain infrastructure with Swift for cross-border settlement. You also have Standard Chartered, strategic Ripple investor since 2016, integrates RippleNet across Asia and the Middle East. And then you have JP Morgan. completed the first tokenized US Treasury settlement on the XRP ledger with Ripple, Ondo, and MasterCard. Also today, guess what it is? It's the 14th anniversary for XRP. And yeah, as you guys can see in the comment here, XRP's price is down. So it's a bit sad that the anniversary for the crypto itself launching is actually in the red. Of course, you got people that are also upset saying about it not being above $1. And let's see if I can find it. I saw it earlier. I'm not exactly sure where it is. It looks like a handful of people are actually celebrating, but some people are upset with the fact that it's been out for this many years and it's struggling to just stay above $1. And up next, ETF clients buy $4.13 million worth of XRP, bringing total ETF held net assets to $1.11 billion. XRP ETF trading is now live on Binance. And from Mike Higgins over on Twitter, and we're off. CME Group is officially live with 24/7 crypto futures and options trading, providing around-the-clock access to crypto derivatives. Ripple Prime is a day one clearing and financing partner supporting always-on markets. And a fun fact, XRP futures were the fastest ever contracts on CME to cross $1 billion in open interest, achieving this in just 3 months. Oh, let's see. Hold on. I think I just bumped something there. Make sure we're still good. Fun fact, XRP futures were the fastest ever contracts on CME to cross $1 billion in open interest, achieving this in just 3 months last year. The institutional demand is there, and now so is the infrastructure. And from Ripple themselves, in response to this, 24/7 regulated crypto futures and options trading are here through CME Group, and Ripple Prime is a day one clearing partner. Institutional demand meets institutional infrastructure built for always on markets. Now let's go ahead and see what's going on with XRP's price. And yeah, this is pretty brutal. So like we saw with Bitcoin, let's go ahead and do a little side by side here. Bitcoin itself, 2 red day candle closures. XRP, same thing. We've got a deep red going here on the new day. Bitcoin itself looking like it's a little bit closer to the bottom of its wick than what XRP is doing. So not much of a difference there, but pretty close. XRP down 2.45%. We've got Bitcoin down about 3.32%. So a little bit of a difference between these two. Do keep in mind that Bitcoin has a much bigger market cap. To see Bitcoin dropping with that kind of a percentage really shows you just how much money is being moved around in Bitcoin today. And with XRP, we can see that the volume on the day here is about 1/3 of the total volume that happened for yesterday. Bitcoin itself currently sitting just under half of the amount of volume from the previous day. So on this position, what we could take into consideration here is that if this pattern does continue, we might be looking at something fairly close to yesterday with June 1st, but things may have started to calm down a little bit as we start to see where the bottom is on this and seeing if people are willing to buy up that dip or if they are starting to get fearful and assume that it might end up dropping down even more. The next thing I want to point out to you is on the Bollinger Band for XRP. We are also essentially seeing it starting to just move in a parallel side. We're not seeing any convergence or divergence taking place. But what is very important here is that we see on the bottom line of the Bollinger Band that it is essentially testing that level as a price point. We got it about $1.26. It did dip down just a little bit below that, slightly coming up right now. And if it drops down even further below this, we might see a more significant decline. And as I mentioned also from yesterday's news, things are not so great between Iran and the United States. If that continues to escalate with tensions, then we might see more rippling effects across the board. Don't forget that oil is also dramatically being impacted with the war between Russia and Ukraine. And because Russia is a big supplier of this, so the more that they get hit, then guess what? There's less supply, and we're seeing inflation across the board. We're seeing not good numbers on unemployment. Just the whole situation itself right there is not an ideal great thing. And last few points I'll just go ahead and say is that we can also see, as we zoom in here a little bit more, my previous blue line, that triangle pattern that we were waiting to see if it would try and make an attempt of going back above it again. It was rejected on May 30th. Right now showing signs that it's not ready to try and make that retest potentially anytime soon. If we start to get some nice green candles here over the next few days, great. We might see a buying opportunity because this dip is pretty significant. We haven't seen a price point with XRP at this level since going all the way back here to February 6th of this year. So a quite dramatic drop is taking place. If it drops any further than this, $1.25 psychological level, $1 psychological level. We also have a key bounce that took place here at $1.12. It's pretty close to the previous day, 114. So about 114 to $1.12. We'll see if it does make any kind of a test attempt there, but hopefully this starts to make a climb up. And then we'd be looking at some resistance around $1.37. That's what I got for you guys in today's video. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys so much. God bless. And I appreciate my Patreon supporters. I'm Crypto Atlas over there. Thank you to my YouTube members. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.